WAHALA pressure on Tinubu as US soldiers demand immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu. My dear listeners, moving to the full details, kindly please ensure you like, subscribe to this channel and share. A coalition of retired military personnel of Igbo heritage residing in the United States has formally petitioned Nigerian President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, urging him to secure the swift release of Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. Operating under the banner of the American Military Veterans of Igbo Descent, AVID, the group submitted an open letter outlining their concerns about Kanu's prolonged incarceration. The document, endorsed by AVID's president, Dr. Sylvester Lonyia, and its secretary, Dr. Godson Obiagu, pressed the Nigerian government to respect multiple legal judgments that have deemed Kanu's detention both unlawful and unconstitutional. AVID's appeal draws attention to a series of judicial verdicts from both domestic court and international human rights bodies, all of which have ruled in favor of Kanu's immediate release. The letter emphasized that despite these binding rulings, Nigerian authorities have continued to hold him in custody, disregarding legal principles and international commitment. The Veterans Group referenced a federal high court ruling delivered on October 26, 2022, which determined that Kanu's arrest and subsequent detention violated fundamental human rights. The court explicitly condemned the Nigerian government's decision to extradite him from Kenya in June 2021, describing the process as an extraordinary rendition that breached international law. Additionally, AVID pointed to the Supreme Court of Nigeria's decision in December 2023, which acknowledged the controversial circumstances surrounding Kanu's initial detention. The Apex Court condemned the military assault on the residents in Abia State in 2017, which forced him to flee for his safety. It noted that labeling Kanu a fugitive and seeking his extradition was a deceptive maneuver, given that he was compelled to escape due to military aggression. Furthermore, the letter referenced a landmark opinion issued by the United Nations Human Rights Council's Working Group on Arbitrary Detention in July 2022. The UN body categorically stated that Kanu's arrest and detention were in violation of international human rights standards, instructing the Nigerian government to release him immediately and offer appropriate compensation. AVID stressed that Nigeria, as a member of the United Nations and signatory to multiple human rights treaties, is legally obligated to honor these rulings. The group asserted that continued defiance of international directives erodes the country's credibility, potentially exposing it to diplomatic and economic consequences. The Nigerian government's refusal to adhere to binding legal decisions diminishes its standing in the global communities and raises serious concerns about its commitment to upholding justice, the letter stated. Beyond the legal dimensions, AVID argued that the issue had evolved into a broader political crisis, with Kanu's detention fueling instability in southeastern Nigeria. The one that continued defiance of court rulings could set a dangerous precedent for Nigeria's judicial system, eroding public trust in the country's legal institutions. Emphasizing that the matter that transcended judicial parameters and entered the realm of executive decision, making the Igbo veterans urged President Tinubu to exercise his leadership by ensuring Kanu's release. They highlighted that the president owes the authority to restore Kanu's bail conditions or terminate his prosecution altogether in the interest of national stability. There is no doubt that this issue has moved beyond the courtroom and into the realm of political resolution, a responsibility that now rests squarely on President Tinubu's shoulders. AVID wrote, "The buck stops with the president and decisive action must be taken." The group underscored that resolving Kanu's case peacefully could serve as a catalyst for de-escalating tensions in the southeast, where persistent protests and unrest have been tied to his continued imprisonment. AVID cautioned that if the Nigerian government continues to disregard legal verdict, it risks alienating key stakeholders, including human rights organizations, diplomatic allies, and the international business community. They warned that Nigerian persistent defiance could invite economic sanctions, further exacerbating the nation's already struggling economy. The group also expressed concerns that prolonging Kanu's detention could deepen ethnic and regional divisions, potentially leading to wider instability in Nigeria. They urged Tinubu to prioritize reconciliation efforts and demonstrate a commitment to justice by complying with judicial rulings. In conclusion, AVID's letter has implored the president to take a principled stance, emphasizing that upholding the rule of law in this case would reinforce Nigerians' democratic values and help rebuild confidence in its judiciary. History will judge the decisions made today. We urge President Tinubu to be on the right side of justice by ordering the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu, AVID stated. My dear listeners, now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by at the comment section and let us know what your view is all about. Thank you for listening.